incredible. All the varieties of shingles, someday they're gonna find out about them. They only knew about one variety of shingles. They didn't know there's over 30 varieties. And there's and these viruses somehow got out. And we then pass them around. We pass them around in relationships. It's natural. We pass them around it's just we live here on planet Earth. You could be a chef and you got the Epstein-Barr virus and you're actually infectious in that moment and you're just chopping up somebody's food in a restaurant and you cut your finger and now 40 people have they got Epstein-Barr, and it's really nobody's fault. It's just the way it works. And then, and this is how it's done. And then we pass around the simplexes, we pass around, the cold sore, we pass around the industries, they just want you to think that you're just crazy still because you're either thinking it you're creating it with your thoughts or your body's attacking itself or whatever it is. They just don't want you to have the answers because these viruses, if they're really studied and they're really discussed of them, they'll just be like, these are patented bugs. I mean, they were released. So they just escaped the lab by accident, probably by accident. Maybe a guy in a lab coat just forgot and he brought his Petri dish with him when he left work, and maybe he just tried. I don't know. He dropped it along the way. I don't know. I'm just saying that. And these viruses were raised in labs, and they were released by accident or whatever. And then eczema and psoriasis. That's from the Epstein-Barr feeding off of copper. So if any of the guys out there, guys suffer from eczema, right? Yeah. So if you're a guy out there right now. Right, and if you're a guy out there with eczema, that's the Epstein-Barr virus, and that Epstein-Barr virus needs copper to create eczema. So you have to have the toxic heavy metal copper, and this isn't research and science; it's the medical medium information. And what research and science doesn't know is viruses eat food; they have to eat food. Now, doesn't it make sense on a basic fundamental level, right? Like, in order for a microorganism to stay alive, doesn't it need something to absorb to stay alive? It needs some type of fuel.
Yeah.
It does. It really does. It actually feeds, and that's how it colonizes. That's how we have bugs. That's how we have, different, that's how we have bacteria, like Streptococcus. It has to colonize. It feeds. And viruses feed off of toxic heavy metals. So when you're somebody and you got copper inside your liver, the toxic heavy metal copper, a virus, it's called Epstein-Barr, can feed on that copper, then release. It goes to the bathroom. It pees and poos. And it releases that toxin. That toxin is a dermatoxin. That dermatoxin surfaces to your skin. And it gives you eczema, gives you bouts of psoriasis. The reason why people get rid of their eczema and psoriasis with medical medium information, which never happened before. Debilitating cases of eczema. That's never, ever been seen in alternative medicine or anywhere. Debilitating where you can't put clothes on, right? And it's not because of the plant-based diet. The plant-based diet, you just go plant-based doesn't mean you're going to get rid of your debilitating eczema or psoriasis. That's not how it works. And so that's another thing, because plant-based people are like, well, you just need to go plant-based. No, that's not it. You have to get the copper out of your liver. You have to do things that people have done when they open up Cleanse to Heal, and they learn how to get that toxic copper out of the liver, and they open up that book Cleanse to Heal that you got sitting beside you, and they get the metals out, and they get the viral issue taken care of, that Epstein-Barr that every guy walks around with. But if you got the copper in there, and you have to get the copper out. You got to get the Epstein-Barr down. And the book is about antivirals, Cleanse to Heal. The medical medium information is about antivirals, toxic heavy metals. It's not about plant-based diets and paleo keto diets. Where does that get anybody really better? How do you get rid of your vitiligo on any diet if you don't know what's causing your vitiligo? If you don't know how to get rid of the real underneath cause of it. Sure, you can do it by accident a little bit of it. You can clean up your diet, get rid of processed foods, start eating better, exercising more, and all of a sudden you notice your eczema is getting a little better, but it comes and goes. And that's just some people, right? And you can get, because you're eliminating some things that are contributors, but in the end, there's people out there, they do the vegetarian, or they do the plant-based, they do the vegan, they do it as pure as they can. Their eczema is still raging. And And these are the people that got their lives back. Same thing with keto, animal protein people. And same thing with vitiligo, people that have reversed their vitiligo in miraculous ways because they got the answers. They knew what virus is involved, what toxic heavy metals involved, other things that are involved that I talk about in the books. So it's about answers, It's about answers. And look, in the end, life is precious. Every day counts. Living free from symptoms counts. Living without any kind of struggle or suffering. I mean, this planet's hard enough as it is. I mean, life is hard enough as it is. Well, let's at least try to get rid of our symptoms and get rid of our Alzheimer's too, and Parkinson's, which is toxic heavy metals are involved with those. The cause of Parkinson's and Alzheimer's is toxic heavy metals. Dementia, it's toxic heavy metals. And getting rid of these metals so we don't end up as men getting Alzheimer's, so we don't end up as men getting Parkinson's, so we don't end up as men getting dementia and memory issues. We can get those toxic heavy metals out. But science and research doesn't know it's toxic heavy metals. They just don't know. They don't know what it is. They'll just say it's genetic, or they'll say it's something packaged up with a bow on top and just screw you over. And that's what they'll do. And I don't think, I think the guys in your audience, they want it straight up. They don't want to be fooled. They don't want to be tricked. They don't want to be made, they don't want to be made a fool of. I mean, am I right? I mean, 100%. The guys in your audience want to be made a fool of, right?
100%.
Well, that's what the industry does. Research and science does with dementia, Alzheimer's, with chronic illness. They're making fools out of people, whether anybody knows it or not. And I know your crowd doesn't want that. They want it straight up. Like, what's the answer? Well, it's Alzheimer's is mercury. Mercury and aluminum in the brain. That's what it is, in your glial cells, on your neurons, and it spreads. It spreads. If you don't get the mercury out, it ages and it oxidizes and spreads into adjacent tissue. And then you just start losing it. You lose your mind. And it's just unfair that you why do I have to be the one to give the information out? And it's ridiculous. I shouldn't have to, Justin, I shouldn't have to be the one. I wanted to be on my merry way, live my life, be nice, peaceful. Everything but ridiculous as it is, at this point, I still am the only one putting this information out. And the other thing with men too is like us guys is like sluggish, stagnant livers. We get aging. Aging happens faster because of sluggish, stagnant livers, and guys tend to just beat their livers up, without realizing it. The high fat diets and the alcohol and stuff, and whatever. I mean, it's like guys they'll beat their liver to death, and not because of any reason. I mean, life is hard, It's just like we don't know what to eat. Nobody knows what to eat. You know what I mean? It's that we're raised on whatever food we're on, and we're just trying to get through. We're trying to make a living. We're trying to do the best we can, as guys. We're just trying to push through our day, and and we're just trying to eat to survive. And then our livers get sour on us. We lose the bile strength, and our livers get weak, and our livers get sluggish, and it's really hard. And then our prostates get all messed up. And then the Epstein-Barr inside of us, which is the old monovirus. Even if you don't even come down with mono, you still can have the monovirus. And you get the heavy metals and the monovirus inside the prostate. And then your prostate starts getting inflamed, and you get the prostate cancer later on. That happens to all the guys. It's and then the adrenaline highs too. Guys, they need those adrenaline highs, and you know what I mean. And you got all the adrenaline saturating the liver. It's like what happens is like, it's not an easy road, and we burn out. The prostates get damaged. We burn out our adrenals. We beat the crap out of our livers. Our hearts go bad. All the guys' hearts go bad, and it's like meaning like you can go. You're feeling fine, everything's great, and you die of a heart attack. I mean, how many guys have I heard? 36 years old die of a heart attack. I mean, 39 years old die of a heart attack. Like it's just 40, 42, 51, 53, and it's like the guy's going fine. He's exercising, he's working out at the gym, he's doing his job, and he dies of a heart attack. It's like it's not an easy road, but there's ways that we can stop guys from getting the high blood pressure and and all of that. So it's just, but yeah, it's amazing.
It is, man. It totally is. So what is So I've been taking the celery juice every morning as soon as I wake up, and then 15, 20 minutes later, I'm doing my heavy metal detox every day. Heavy metal detox is wild blueberries, cilantro, spirulina, 2 oranges, a couple bananas. What else am I missing? There's some dulse, Atlantic dulse.
Yep.
I'm doing that every day. What else though helps with like pulling the heavy metals out and also getting that viral load down?
Wait, barley grass?
Sorry, barley grass. Yeah, that's what I was missing. Yeah, barley grass.
Yeah, I mean, you're pulling your metals out. I mean, that's the medical medium heavy metal detox movie.
Mm-hmm.
And what you'll find out there is some big mistakes with heavy metals. You know, I killed myself to get the information about people being, riddled in toxic heavy metals and stuff throughout their body in different places. And I spent a lifetime doing it, So then you'll hear somebody else talk about metals out there, or some doctor, author, or somebody else spout out about it, but they don't know how to get the metals out. They don't. And I'm just being straight up on that, because if they did, I would say, this guy knows how to get the metals out. This guy knows how to get the metals out. And what happens is that the only way to get them out, and to get them out safely, is you have to use a high-quality spirulina, and that's what I have on my directory, and at medicalmedia.com, so people even know. You need a high-quality spirulina. You need high-quality barley grass juice powder. You need the cilantro. You need the wild blueberries. You got to have the wild blueberries. I mean, it's a great way. You got to have a little bit of the dulse. You got to have these are the things you have to have, because here's how it works. In order to get the metal safely out of the body, you have to have all those components, at least most of them, because metals can drop. You have to have something to pass along to something else. Like the wild blueberries will start pulling metals out, but you got to have the spirulina there too to grab onto them. I talk all about this in Cleanse to Heal. You guys got, people out there that are listening, you got to get Cleanse to Heal if you can. If you can't afford a book or anything, go to the library. Get it for free. But I talk about this in Cleanse to Heal. It's called the Easter egg hunt, and it's about pulling the metals out of places, hidden places in the body, but making sure they sustain themselves enough in the components you have that are absorbing them to pull them directly out of the body completely. And here's the mistake with toxic heavy metals. People use Corella. Disastrous. Epic disaster. I can't even believe, after all these years of me trying to tell people, Corella is the worst for metals. It drops the metal. It drops it. And it doesn't help. And chelation's not good either. The chelation techniques that are out there are not good either. The metals drop. And the thing about Corella is that even with all that I've done and the work I've done, there's still somebody like an influencer will pop on social media and be like, I'm taking my Corella. I mean, what dummy, not the influencer, but what dummy told that influencer that Corella was going to be a great thing? They usually have bacteria in them, okay? And people have been poisoned by Corella over the years, on and off over the years, with the worst like diarrhea and vomiting. Like, the things that have happened, number one, I'm not saying every brand or anything, but the problems I've seen with Corella, ridiculous. And then it doesn't hold the metal, and it doesn't uproot toxic heavy metal. And in fact, it moves metal around, so then your problem could get worse. And that's what Corella is. And the thing is, it's like, no, that's not how it works. I mean, I want people to get better, and here's the beautiful thing. Oh my God, so many people have got their lives back with the heavy metal, the medical medium heavy metal detox movie, because it actually works. It gets it out. It's just, it's amazing.
Yeah. What other foods do you recommend besides just the heavy metal? And by the way, that is one of the big things I think that really changed my health, was a heavy metal detox. I do it every single day religiously, and the celery juice too. But what are some of the other foods that you recommend for, say, general health, dropping the antiviral load down, and just helping people start to, because all the information's in these books, but what are some of the big things you can recommend right now?
Well, just bringing your fats down. That's the whole thing. So if you're an animal protein guy, keto guy, paleo guy, whatever, and maybe you don't have a tag, you're just, trying to eat healthy. You're trying to eat a balanced diet. Maybe you're intuitively eating. Maybe you're eating moderation. Whatever like belief system that somehow absorbs your mind. You got in there. Whatever it is, you want to lower your fats. You want to bring your fats down.